Do I need to email you my design? So I didn't get it.
That would be best, yeah.
Because I have it right here. I'm just gonna see maybe it could help me. Maybe someone smarter can figure this one out.
Maybe after class we'll do that. Is that good?
Yep.
Okay, so today, I think we're recording. Yeah, we're recording. So today we have an assignment due that you should email to me. And that assignment is to have a scale drawing in 3 dimensions of your house or apartment where you live with as much detail as you were able to put into it. And in the process of doing that, you should have watched all of the Getting Started videos in SketchUp under the Learn tab and the Video Tutorials button. There were 4 videos in the Getting Started, and then you should have watched all the Toolbar series videos as well. The Toolbar series is much longer. For some reason I can't access it from this computer, but that's okay. And as you're getting better and better at using this stuff, you can go to different levels of videos. You can go to the familiar with SketchUp videos. You can go to the expert in SketchUp videos. And you can learn more and more and more stuff. Like I said, for some reason I can't get to the other video sections. I don't know why. That's okay. Now we're going to start a new project, which will be essentially your final project. And the final project is to design one of the buildings in North Platte. So in North Platte, let's see, let's in North Platte we have several buildings, and we want to get some of the bigger buildings drawn up in a 3D program because the City of North Platte has asked if we can help them to build a 3-dimensional map of the city. And so what we do is we'll go here to Google and search North Platte buildings, and we'll look for images. And one of the most obvious ones that people might think of is this one, which is the Spike Tower. But this one has already been done by a student last year, and we have a very good model of it from last year. And so some of the other buildings that we're looking at modeling are things like the old college building, which is in downtown North Platte, very beautiful brick building, 3 stories tall. Other ones might be like the Children's Museum, which is another nice brick building, or the Pawnee Hotel, which is great big brick building downtown that is not used for much that's very interesting, but is still a nice brick building. Or that's the old hospital, isn't it? Which is now the something city building or something. No, that's the old North Platte High School. I didn't know that's what the old North Platte High School looked like. But we're looking at, essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to rebuild, we're trying to model some of the buildings that are recognizable in downtown North Platte and other places. You have, this is the federal building, I believe, that they're showing right here. This is the old Catholic school that they tore down, actually. The hospital is a good one. So this is the new hospital building. So that's one that could be done. What else? Here's the old Pawnee Hotel building. You can see it better right now. Let's see the more detail to it.
Has anyone done the new bank?
The new bank would be a good one. What's that one called? See, this is the old college building. Another great one is the one out at the ranch, at Buffalo Bill's Ranch, the house out there, Buffalo Bill's house. And let's see, what is the, it's Nebraska Land Bank, right? So here's the new Nebraska Land Bank building, big three-story building right at the front of town there. It's kind of an interesting one. So essentially what you have is you have the opportunity to choose your building in North Platte that you would like to work on, and then submit that to me by the end of today for approval. Then I will approve it. And then your job is to, first of all, go out and do some research. That means that maybe you need to go down to the actual building and ask them for some drawings, because you're going to need specifics. You're going to need to know height of building, all the measurements of the building, so you can put them in as much detail as you can. You might end up needing to go down to the city to get copies of information like that. If you tell them that you're a student doing this for an engineering project, they'll be much more kind to you. And you don't even necessarily need to go down there to do it. You could even call them or email them, and they would be very, very likely to be willing to help you as well. But that is part of the engineering process, is talking with people, getting information from people, getting specific information from people that you need to know. The requirements, though, is that it needs to be a fairly tall building, and it needs to be one that is a visible building in North Platte, something that means something that's kind of iconic. So the big Nebraska Land Bank building is pretty iconic nowadays. The hospital, some of the other historical brick buildings, of course. But we're not going to just do any old building. We're not going to do Walmart, for example. We might do St. Pat's or the other big church downtown. Is it a Lutheran church? It's the big one with the bells. I can't remember. But those ones would be acceptable. With this next model, you're not going to try to get all the details inside and out. You're going to just try to get the outside details as good as you can, because then we're going to turn the model into a three-dimensional printing models and try to print it on our printer, on our 3D printer. And to do that, you have to have an enclosed model. It has to be a completely enclosed solid, so that the printer knows what to print and what not to print. So, for today, you need to get to me your building that you want to design. It's first come, first served, so if somebody comes and says they want to do a Nebraska Land Bank building, and they're the first one to say it, they get it, nobody else can do it. So that's your first assignment for today. Second assignment is to go out and get specs, because by Monday or Tuesday, or probably Wednesday at the latest, I want to have a drawing or a list of all the measurements that you're going to use for your drawing. And I want you to turn that in to me. Okay? So today, choose your building, tell me for approval. By Monday or Wednesday, get me a list of the specs and a drawing if you can get one of the building you're going to do, so that you have specific measurements and details about that building. Now, even before you get those specific measurements, you can start practicing on your building. You can start drawing things and learning how to use tools that you're going to learn how to use. For example, the Nebraska Land Bank building doesn't have just a regular old square top to it. It has a rounded front, and it has the words Nebraska Land National Bank that come out of the building. That will not be true. That's not going to be a trivial thing to do. All these curves, all these railings, all these windows, I want those part of the building. I want those part of the model, so that we can print it off properly. So you've got a lot of work to do no matter what building you choose. There's going to be details that are going to give you a challenge. So you can get started right away learning, doing some preliminary modeling. And then as we get into next week, we're going to learn how to convert that drawing into a 3D printing model, and then we're going to start printing them. The printing, unfortunately, is something that I have to do at this end, and it takes hours and hours, and so I will not require you guys to be present for that, and I will work that out on my own. And sometimes printing can even take days and even weeks, and so it may not even be till next semester that I have them printed. But once I get them printed, I will try to get you a copy of the print so you can have one. And your grade will not be graded. You will not be graded on the print. You will actually just be graded on the model that you turn in. This is going to be your final exam. So going out and getting those specs is kind of like a written part of the final exam, and making the drawing is kind of the action part of your final exam. Okay. So do a good job on it. Be complete. If you need help, get help. Get help from me. Go look on YouTube, whatever. But this is the final thing that we're going to do in this class. We have no other planned projects for the class besides this one. Any questions? Okay. What's your question that you had about your drawing?
That is, I can't get, my house is a little bit strange. Somehow I need to place a triangle on the face of this.
Okay. That's easy enough to do.
But it needs to be say I can't get it to line up when I work. So I'm trying to take this. And my computer gets like crazy on this part.
Where do you want it to be? What face?
This face, but it has to
Flat
be
face?
But it has to be up into this part of it.
Okay. What you're going to need to do is you need to rotate underneath so that you can see underneath, right? First of all.
And I need the edge of the triangle.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the tip of the triangle, actually I'm just going to stick it right here. I'm make it however big I want to make it, and while I'm making it, I can rotate it. See that?
Yeah.
So, once I make it this size, then I can grab it with, I can use my tools, which is this one, and I can move it up here. Like that.
I I need it
And then if,
up over.
what do you mean up over?
Um,
It's not on this face then?
it's on that face, but it's above.
What do you mean,
It's-
how can it be on the face but above it?
It's really, really cool but strange.
Oh, you mean it's a soffit? A window soffit? Oh, yeah. That's easy.
I can't get it to.
So to do that, you don't draw a triangle. What you do for that is you come out here just in a line. Just pick a line here and go out this way, and then come down here like this. Create it that way.
Oh.
Okay.
I was trying to do all kind of.
Yeah, don't be fancy. Just draw it. Much
Okay.
easier that way. Okay.
That makes sense. I didn't even think of that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, don't try to be too tricky using shapes. Sometimes it's easier to just draw them with a pencil. And remember, when you start hovering over things, you can line up, so you can bring a line out so that it lines up right with the edge of the roof,
Yeah.
right? And things like that. So it can be quite easy to just draw things instead of making shapes.
Spent 2 hours trying to figure it out last night, and I got nowhere.
Well, whenever you get to that point, you need to go to YouTube. You need to not try to figure out everything by yourself. Go to YouTube and say, how do I draw windows in the roof of my house? You go to Google using SketchUp. Using SketchUp, draw windows in the roof of my house. And they'll show you, they'll give you 20 videos. So there's definitely ways to do that.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, we're done for today then.
And can I go ahead and just put my, do I have to email you still that I would like to do